But
what has been the toughest part of your musical journey? You're very young. I mean, let's get real. It's not like, you're up in age. What's been some of the toughest hurdles you had to overcome?
just getting into like mainstream radio and knocking down the doors of all the radio stations, the big time radio stations in different regions. They kind of give you a hard time sometimes, but the more relationships you get and the more you get to meet people, and the more shows you do and stuff like that, and the more promotions you do, and people know you're serious, and then they'll kind of walk you in. So it makes everything easier. But at the beginning it was kind of rough. But it's moving on out now. A lot of people are starting to see me in different places, different regions, different states, countries.
When
It's kind of smoothing out now.
you mentioned knocking on the doors of radio and so
Mhm.
forth, but now everybody blew up with the social medias, with the Spotify, the Pandora. But like we talked about earlier, are you really making money? How do you change the narrative knowing that eventually those platforms are going to go away? I mean, let's get real. Are you really making that kind of revenue? And is the return on investment a lot different than what you expected? And if so, what do you have to change with the game to still enjoy your craft? Because let's get
Mhm.
real. We all like what we do, but it still takes money to enjoy the craft.
Right, right, right. I always look at it like the money will come. You just put out great product and
Mhm.
you get people to follow you. And like you said, the social media platform now is big. You get that and you get people to come out to your shows and you get as many shows as you can. You just do all you can do, man, and money will follow. I always heard people say that. And they're right. You just stick with it and you stick to the craft and don't do it for the money. Do it for the love and the money will come. But you put out the best you can put out and promote it and get it to the people, man. And your true fan base, they'll come out and see you and they'll support you for sure.
What has been the biggest two-part question?
Uh,
How do you determine how many shows you're going to do? How do you pick the geographical location? And then what was one of the shows that you did that you thought was gonna be all that in a bag of chips, and it turned out to be not so, a big thing? How did you recover from it?
Well, I love all my shows. I appreciate the people that's there and that come out and see me perform. That's everything to me. Involving like the work I put in to create the music, and then I finally get to, share it with others
Right.
and different fan base and K-RobTheSinger supporters. And what was the other question? The other question was
How do you determine your geographical region when you're going to go on tour?
well, I talk before I go out. I always talk to the different club promoters because they have different venue sizes, big venues, small venues for major artists, indie artists. So I just try to jump in where I can. What kind of show is kind of like R&B ish or rap or hip hop. I'll go anywhere to perform. I'll perform for rappers, before rappers, after rappers. So I'm not really choosy about that. Anywhere I can get in, I'll get in. That's been my thing. Anywhere I can perform and get a slot, and I'll be there.
Do that. Do you do 90 how much percentage of the marketing do you do? I know you're with Me Cap, but
Yeah, yeah.
how much of that marketing do you actually do for yourself?
Everything that MeCap doesn't do, I'll pick that slack up and do it myself. But MeCap does a lot for me though. They does a lot of promotion on their end. But everything else I'll do. I'll get the flyers, the promotions, anything I would need. Like I have a flyer right here that I have printed up. The song I did with Gucci Man with this, and then the Temptation went out on the backside.
Okay.
I print up flyers, man. I do a lot of like social media is easy platform. You can promote on there like crazies and it's worldwide. And I prefer the internet more because it reaches the people faster than I can myself, or my
Right.
street team or whoever I have out promoting with me. So social media is a great platform. And yeah, I do majority of promotions, set it up. I make the calls, call people and tell them what I want on the flyers, on the promotions, different things and all that. But yeah, MeCap is a big part of what K-Rod the Singer does.